in 2014, shortly, I believe, after Russia invaded Crimea, when he said Russia is a gas station masquerading as a country. We look back on Russia's invasion of Ukraine, it's become undeniable that energy security and national security are intertwined. In fact, one could argue energy security is national security, and that Europe's reliance on Russian energy is both a regional security as well as economic risk. My question, Dr. Starr, is do you believe that the development of the middle corridor, as we saw what's occurred now with that historic August 8th signing of the peace agreement between Azerbaijan and Armenia.
In August, a historic peace deal was signed between Azerbaijan and Armenia, brokered in Washington. But here's the twist. Behind the handshakes and the diplomatic smiles lies something far more strategic, the middle corridor. This is a bold plan to connect the energy-rich regions of Central Asia directly to Europe through the Caucasus, bypassing Russia entirely. Just think about that for a second. For years, Europe has been trapped in an energy web spun by Moscow, dependent on Russian oil and gas, vulnerable to price manipulation, and politically pressured at every turn. The middle corridor promises to break that cycle. Now let's break it down. The corridor would allow oil, gas, and goods from Central Asia, countries like Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan, to travel through Azerbaijan across Georgia and into Europe. It's not just a new route, it's a new reality. A chance for Europe to stand on its own 2 feet when it comes to energy security. But as exciting as it sounds, the stakes couldn't be higher, because energy isn't just a commodity. It's leverage, it's influence. It's the silent weapon in every global power game.
Important issue. This didn't begin yesterday. It's been more than a decade since the Baku-Ceyhan pipeline was opened. There was so much skepticism about that in this country that we organized a motorcycle run from Azerbaijan on the Caspian all the way to Turkish port of Ceyhan in order to deliver the first oil from Central Asia to Europe by motorcycle. My point is this. Yes, it is possible to go through a land corridor for energy from Central Asia, from the Caspian region. However, it would be better to have backups and multiple systems, one that would include across the Black Sea. But if the Black Sea is dominated by Russia and it has its own energy interests at issue, obviously that won't work. So yes, the so-called middle corridor is very important, but at the same time, it can't rely solely on the land route through the Caucasus. It should also have the alternative of a sea route through the Black Sea.
For decades, Moscow's gas pipelines have been more than just tubes of steel. They've been strings of control. Every cubic meter of Russian gas flowing into Europe carried hidden political leverage. Prices could rise or fall based on obedience. Alliances could shift under pressure. But that era might be ending. The vertical gas corridor is designed to cut those strings once and for all. Its mission, to move natural gas from resource-rich nations like Romania into the heart of Eastern Europe, to countries like Moldova, Ukraine, and Hungary, nations that have suffered the most from energy shortages and political manipulation. Think about what that means. For years, Europe has depended on Russian energy, not because it wanted to, but because it had no real alternative. The vertical gas corridor changes that equation completely. It opens a new lifeline, one that runs through trusted allies instead of potential adversaries. Mr. Boyce, an energy expert, called it a long overdue project that could finally deliver true energy independence. And he's right. This plan has been on the table for almost a decade, sitting dormant as an ambitious concept.
Thank you, Dr. Starr, for your insights on that. Appreciated. Mr. Boyce, I want to continue on this theme of energy security. In May of this year, western states of the Black Sea region began construction of a vertical gas corridor as a means to push energy into starved parts of Europe. Mr. Boyce, do you believe that U.S. allies in countries like Romania would benefit from such a proposal? And could this idea succeed where the Nabucco pipeline and other energy projects have failed?
Just look at recent history. When Russia invaded Ukraine, it didn't just send troops. It used energy as its first strike. Gas supplies were cut, prices soared, and European cities faced blackouts. That single event exposed how vulnerable the world had become to energy manipulation. It wasn't about oil and gas anymore, it was about control. And that's why experts like Dr. Starr are right when they say, energy security is national security. It's not just a slogan, it's the new battlefield. Think about it. Every modern economy runs on energy, from heating homes in Germany to powering data centers in the UK. If that flow is disrupted, life stops, governments panic, economies crumble. That's exactly why nations like the US, Romania, and Azerbaijan are now investing heavily in projects like the Middle Corridor and the Vertical Gas Corridor, not just for profit, but for protection. Because in today's global chessboard, the side that can turn on the lights and keep them on wins. But here's where it gets interesting. This new energy race isn't just about pipelines and politics, it's also about alliances. Countries are now choosing sides based on where their power comes from. Will they align with Russia and risk dependency? Or will they join forces with Western nations pushing for diversified energy routes and independence? The decisions being made right now could determine the world's balance of power for decades.
Yeah, that's a very important question because it gets to this whole question of diversifying routes, diversifying sources, and expanding the options to ensure that energy security, that the countries of that region are secure and don't need to rely on Russian sources, which brings all sorts of opportunities for malign influence, which we've seen over the course of many, many years. Now, usually the discussion is the main principle is that the more projects like this, the better, because the sources of energy that Romania is blessed with enormous resources, hydrocarbons, fossil fuels in the Black Sea and on land. But it's sort of the corridor through which some of the more those countries that are not blessed with those resources need to go. And so this project has been, it's been long in the making, actually, in the conceptualizing. I mean, it actually goes back almost 10 years in terms of when it was first a bright idea in some foresighted people's minds. It's taken quite a long time for it to get off the ground. It's about time that it's happening. It's going to be a good thing when it finally starts to produce the sorts of diverse supplies that the countries that Ukraine needs, that Moldova needs, that Hungary needs, that Slovakia needs, and so we should welcome this and support it in every way we can.
Thank you, Mr. Boyce.